I'm sitting here with Loli Prince, the sous chef at Birkenhead House in Hermanus. Welcome, Loli.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Before we begin, I've always wanted to ask this. What is a sous chef?
Sous chef is a second hand of the executive chef, as a helper anyway, I'll call it like that.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're actually the second in command in a way
Yes.
for the executive chef.
Yes.
What does your day-to-day job entail? Do you come in just obviously knives wielding and you just start chopping? What happens on a day-to-day basis for you?
Daily basis, I do the breakfast, and we have to do the lunch, and then we have to prepare for the dinner as well. So I'm in between those shifts to help the others when they're coming later, so that we can help them with the prep and all that.
Okay.
So I think that's it.
Loli, where do you come from? Just take us through, where you are at the moment. You're a sous chef at Birkenhead House, but obviously you've not always been doing that. Where do you come from? What's your history in food?
I've been born in Hermanus, and then I have to go to my side of my mother's side, and in Eastern Cape. But I came in Cape Town, and when I was in Cape Town, I just decided to come to my aunt, and then that's when I got the job in Birkenhead House in Hermanus. So I just been here for the 10 years.
Is food in your blood? Is it something that your family does, or is it something that you've taken on as a career in terms of the actual job that you are faced with?
Let me take you back. Since I was in Eastern Cape, since we was being with my grandmother, we were she was helping us to cook and then teaching us to do the bread and all that, so that we can know what we're doing with the food. So that's when. So I would say that the cooking, I got it from the lower ground, the ground. Yes, I would say that.
Is ngqusho one of the staples in the food that you enjoy? You had to look away. But do you enjoy your typical indigenous cooking? And having worked at Birkenhead House and having been a sous chef, do you think you bring us some of your work at home in terms of influencing the way that you cook some of the dishes that you make at home?
Yes, I would say that. Like the Malaysian, which is my signature dish. In our culture, we're using curries, the spices and all that. But that's in Birkenhead, I had to find that that's the spices that we're using. But in Xhosa, it's so different because they don't use cumin and turmeric and all that stuff, but they use curry, which is in Birkenhead as well. But it's just a mix of the spices as well, which is the Malaysian, and then I'd love that. So yeah, I would say.
Would you say that you bring some of your work home? How has this influenced the way that you cook some of your indigenous cooking at home?
Okay. Since we're using curries in our African culture, at work as well, there's a Malaysian, which is my dish, my signature dish, which is I'm using this cumin, this turmeric spices, which is this curry as well, but we're adding as well as chilies. But I would say that I've brought the background of my African to work as well, because I would say that the Malaysian, because the other people what I would say,
Your colleagues?
Yeah, my colleagues as well. They just brought some of their dishes as well, so which is combined with my African.
How did you get here though? Have you always wanted to cook? Is it something that's in your blood at home at all?
Yes, I would say that. Since I've been growing, my grandmother as well was teaching us to cook and as well. But when I was in Birkenhead, anyway, let me bring you there. I was a scholar. I was not a chef. I was nothing there. Yeah. And then I was so curious about the food and then how they do it. And then my chef just picked me as can you come and help us and then this and that and that. And then I was just so curious. And then that's where I got up here until I've been a
How long
chef.
have you been there?
I've been there for 10 years now.
Wow, that's a long time. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you want to go?
In the next 5 years, I want to be executive chef. And then, that's where I see myself. But it needs to be open up and then broad, and then I have to focus so that I can see myself in that.
Definitely. Now, you're one of the candidate chefs now for the 2014, the CapeLegends Inter-Hotel Challenge. What is it that you hope to achieve this year in that challenge?
Oh my God. It's a big thing for me, and it will give me the opportunity to grow, and then being working to other people and then seeing their cooking style and all that, I'll see myself like, yeah, growing, and then, yeah, I'll say that.
More competitions along the way, maybe?
Oh, we'll see after this. And then I'll have that confidence, or
Yeah.
maybe, but I am confident about this. I'll say that.
But best dish for you, what is it that you would, if I was to come to your house and I say, surprise me, what would you actually bring out for me?
I like detergents, spices, which is, I've told you earlier.
Yes.
I like to mix everything, and then I like to do the construction of my own. I like the unique dishes, which is, I like the challenges in spices and all that, like other people's food, and then I like to change their dishes to my dishes, and then I want to see that if I can add this, how it's gonna come up. So yeah, I'll say that my tagines style with curries and so as well.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time, Loli, and definitely all the best for the future ahead.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure as well.